Brian back here with a look at the crypto market. All right, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin, take a look at Kaspa, take a look at Bitcoin dominance, and see if we can figure out what's going on here, right? Is this the end, the doom and gloom? I've been saying for a while, that this could be the top for Bitcoin. That I do not debate, right? It kind of sucks taking out this low right here. Let's get this off here. All right, this low right here. I kind of wanted to see it hold that right here. Okay, but we have taken that low out. Now the question is, does it come down here and hold this support line? This is out on a weekly chart. Does it bounce here? Does it hold? Retrace back up for an ABC and roll over, for the bear market, or does it crash down through here and just, keep going? That's the big question that I have here, right? Let's get this off here so we can see this a little bit better, right? Get that out of the way. Delete that. And let's put a fib on here for 1 second. See if we have anything at all here, right? We do have a 618 right there. Now, if that played out, let's see here. Yeah, came up to a 618. That would put this down at 90,000 bucks. We talked about that last video as a possibility. If you go back to that video and look and watch, you'll see that. All right, so does it ABC here come down through, grab some liquidity, and push back up? That your guess is as good as mine on that, quite honestly. If we look at the weekly RSI, relative strength index, right at the very bottom, it's at a 10.1 and a 10.7. All right, so it is in an area. If it wanted to bounce, it's definitely there. The monthly looks pretty terrible, right? I mean, it's coming down, obviously, and our daily. Let's take a look and see where that's at. Daily still coming down. All right, yeah, you can see right in here. More than likely a 5-wave thing here. 1, 2, 3. Probably run back up and then a final flush down, right? And see what happens here. It does it come down through and pull back up? I don't know. We'll see, right? You're going to have the daily and the weekly down at the bottom pretty much reset. And the market is going to wrong foot you. That's what it does. That's how it makes money, right? I mean, that's the name of the game. If it did what everybody thought it was going to do all the time, there wouldn't be money in it very long, right? Now, this 1618, for a potential fifth wave here is given a target right around 95. That's right on the trend line, right? If we take in maybe that ABC with the 618 doesn't work out here, and you get your 5 waves down, that would be right over here. Right through here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and possibly 5. All right, that target there would put it close to the trend line, correct? And that's without using this wick, that low. Kind of disregarding that. That was kind of a black swan event, right? 96. We'll see if it holds there. If it don't, looking for 90. See if that holds and we get a bounce back up or not. Quite honestly, I'm hoping for something like this, right? This all to be an A wave. Alt season start firing off, right? B wave back up, and then a final C wave down and a crash, right? And coming down here. What doesn't make sense to me, okay, is with Bitcoin dominance. All right, now it has come back up here. I was looking for 60.5%. Got that, right? It did come back up to that 60.55. Now it's gone through it. Excuse me. And it's doing a back test here on this trend line that it broke. All right, you can see here we have And this is pretty important. We break this stuff down, right? We try to figure this out. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 touches, breakdown, retest this area now either as resistance and roll over, or blast back up through it. Everything's done. Party's over. Good night, right? That wouldn't make sense to me. Okay, it's held this trend line for 3 years. Finally broke down. Came back up, just like you were trading this, right? I mean, you would get the break. Look at this as a trade setup, all right? You guys out there that trade, you know exactly what I'm saying. You get the breakdown, you wait for the back test, the retest, you enter the short, and you let it go, right? I mean, that's how you enter a short. Those of you out there that don't know how to leverage trade and stuff like that, or just trade in general, this is what you would look for right here. Is a back test. Now as resistance, you would enter your short here and ride it down. Stop loss up in here, and if it wicks up in there a little bit, that's going to grab liquidity if it does. Just like this wick here. All right, you had a bunch of people grabbing liquidity. Now what I see here, those of you that know Elliott waves, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Back up here. This wick this closing candle is probably going to end up down below this. 4 and a 5 to the downside. All right, this is on a weekly chart. Would that get the cryptos rolling? Yeah, you bet it would. The weekly RSI still heading up. All right, just about at the very top here. Starting to roll over, a 90 and a 79. We look at the daily. Daily's just about at the top here, right? Just about up there. Big sign would be a break of this trend line right here, right? We had just about a fake out to the downside here. I have an alarm set right here, waiting for this. We go in on a 12-hour. Right at the very top, right? 2, 3, 4. Looks like maybe a final push up there. You go into smaller time frames. You got the 4-hour pushing up. Looks like a fifth wave here coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Retest this and roll over. Hopefully, right? That's what I'm looking for. I've been saying this whole bull run. You got the monthly down here at the bottom, reset. That's not real good for the bulls, right? As far as the monthly RSI. Now, it just would not make sense to me to have Bitcoin dominance run back up and then lose this area right here, break down, come back, retest. This will tell it all, right? I mean, it's going to tell the whole story. This thing runs back up through and heads out the top. Yeah, it definitely game over, right? I mean, that's for sure. Now, you would go the width of your wedge, right? That's how you get a target for a trade, especially a wedge like this. This is a wedge. That's how you get your target, right? You take the width of the wedge, you put it on your in this case, it would be a breakdown. Okay, let's just do that, right? We're going to be 100% fair about this. We're going to go right in here. Okay, take the width of the wedge, grab it. All right, now if we put that on the top, there's no way that's going to happen. No way. Bitcoin dominance is not going to go up to 95% ever again. It's not going to happen, right? Breakdown to the downside. Is that possible? Yeah, absolutely. It's happened before. Over here, 2021, right through here, right through. This was an alt season right here. Here was another alt season here, and this is the one we're looking at now. All right. It's gonna tell a lot this week, right? For sure, no question. Either this thing comes retest back up here, like I said, rolls over, and that's it. And another thing I was looking at on a bigger picture, was this here, right? Right like this, okay? This thing comes down and closes down here to 382. That's why I was looking at the 60.5%, a 382, okay? Then I was looking, boom, 2, 3 wave down, boom, down, way down here, okay? On the bigger picture, this is on a monthly chart. That's what I was looking for there, right? So I'm going to be watching, obviously, we're at the beginning of the month here, right? So we're not going to get into a closing monthly candle here on this. How about a weekly? All right, we're on a Tuesday here. The weekly candle, you could get a close here on a weekly, but this 5 wave here just looks too good. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'd want this close down below here, right? Wicks are okay, but closing candles, and roll over, right? I mean, that's what we're looking for. That's what I'm hoping for. They're going to want to wrong foot you in this market. That's what they do, right? They're going to want to crush you, get you out, and get you to panic back in, right? I mean, that's how everybody makes money in this market. That's, and I can see both sides debate 100%, but you gotta, 1, 2, maybe something like this, 3, 4, and 5 here, and maybe Bitcoin comes back up for a B wave up, and then a C wave back, back to the downside. Maybe this B wave gets everybody excited, back into the market, right? Pumped, ready to go, and altcoins flying, and then it rolls over. It's hard to say how it's going to play out, right? But I'll be watching for that. 96,000. Be watching for a bottom in here, right? We'll see if we get it or not. Like I said, that daily RSI coming down there, the weekly, right down at the bottom. You got a case for both scenarios here, right? With the bulls and the bears, and that's the problem right now. Nobody really knows, right? I mean, that's the truth. I mean, nobody does. You can look at the charts, give it your best guess, say if this happens and that happens, but we'll just we're gonna play this out and see how it goes here. All right, but I'll be watching for this 95,000 to hold up and see what happens here. I'm gonna pull this down there, right about there, and we'll see what happens. Now let's go over to Kaspa here, right? See what's going on with it. All right, let's pull this up here. What's this? A 1 week chart. Let's put it on a daily. Where's the last one we did here? Well, it's getting right into that area. If it's going to bounce. You'd be looking for it real soon for sure. What's this on 1 day? Okay, where's my normal? This is my normal chart right here, right? I have an alarm set up here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, there's your retracement down into this area that I talked about. Okay, right here. There it is. We'll see what happens here. I apologize about this mess up here. That was for a trade. Speaking of, man, we've been hammering them over in Discord. If you want to sign up and come over and join us, it's a level 3 membership in the description of the video. They've done pretty well the last couple weeks. I don't know what we did this week as far as wins and losses, but I don't know, 10 wins, 5 losses. Is that fair? You guys over there in Discord, it might have been better than that. I mean, did pretty well. Last week we had a decent run. I think it was 8-3 or something. Not too bad, right? We've been doing pretty well over there. So anyway, if you want to join up, come over and join us. We have over 160 members in there. We would love to have you, man, especially if we're heading into an alt season. And even, if everything rolls over, we want to short it and make as much money as you can right now, right? With the way this is going. Okay, now let's take a look here. The theory I was pondering here, if all goes well here, and we do go into an alt season, I'd be looking for a run up here, right? For sure. Now we're getting into that area. How did I get this? Well, Came off this low here, pulled up. There we go. Yeah, and it could come a little bit deeper. Let's see here. Where's this wave here? We we could be right there. It's gonna go, and it's gonna go. Once again, the width of the wedge, right? This right in here was at this big fall that happened right here. Let's take a look and see if it matches up. Be fair about this, right? Just like we were with the other one. Let's take it in here, like that. Take a measurement and pull it over here. Pretty close, right? I mean, not ridiculously off. Now, usually a wave 2 back, you're going to want to see like around a 50% retracement or so. Somewhere right in there, you're going to want to see a bounce. The deeper it goes, the less of a chance it's going to bounce. You could have an ABC right here. Let's take a look. Like I said, I see both sides cases out there, right? Here we go. We have a 618. Let's pull it down on top and see what kind of target it gave it. Boy, right about where we're at, right? That looks like an ABC. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I might have to go take a long on this, baby. This is on a 1 day. Just about reset on the RSI. The weekly. Got the weekly right at the bottom, 8 and a 7. Don't look too bad, right? The monthly, right on the very bottom. The monthly is down. It's bearish, but it's on the bottom. 12 hour, right on the very bottom. The 4 hour. Take a look. Got your 4 hour rolling over a little bit here, it looks like. Let's go in on the 1 hour. Get a little bit, zoom in a little bit here. Yeah, I might have to check this out. If Kaspa ends up taking out this down through here, and you're going to have some runs this week, does not mean that we're going into a alt season at all. But if that Bitcoin dominance starts breaking down and rolling over, and it breaks that support, I would feel pretty confident in saying, that we're having an alt season, right? I know there's people out there in the comments going to bash me. That's how it goes. That's the way it goes. No matter what you say, really, right now, you're going to have people disagreeing or agreeing with you. One of the two, right? I got to stick to my guns. I've been saying this for a while now, and I got to stick with my guns here with that Bitcoin dominance. Looking for rejection up there and a rollover. Kaspa's done an ABC. This is the target I put out for it, 0.04053, and when you know it, came down and just about hit it right on the head, right? Pretty damn close. Let's go in on a 15 minute. 15 minute is reset, and this thing's starting to go. Not too bad. Looks pretty good, guys. All right, thank you so much. We'll see what happens. I'll get another video out soon. I appreciate it more than you know. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Talk to you soon.